Hello, my kitchenettes, and welcome to David's Kitchen. I got my green apron on, so that means we're making something vegan today. And what a day it is. I'm gonna make one of my favorite fall pear cakes. And this cake is actually really easy to convert from a regular cake to a vegan cake, because the only thing that's not vegan in the regular recipe are egg whites. And basically what I'm going to do is just swap out the egg whites for some vegan egg whites using flax seeds and water. And so right now in this little container here, I have 2 tablespoons of ground flax seeds with 6 tablespoons of water. This has been sitting a while, and that will make that kind of gel-like faux egg whites that we're looking for. So we'll set that down here. So this recipe is really easy. I'm gonna first start out with something that I started about an hour ago. And basically I took 4 Bosc Pears, those are the brown pears, and I peeled them, cored them, and chopped them. And I needed 4 cups of that. It was about 4 big pears that I had, so that made about 4 cups. And then to that, all you do is add 2 cups of granulated sugar, and then you let it sit, stir it a little bit for about an hour. Mine's been going for about 45 minutes. And as you can see here, this really created like this liquid pear syrup. And the pears, what happens is the sugar helps draw out all the juices of the pear, which will make the moisture that we need for the cake. So just to recap, we have 4 cups of chopped pears, 2 cups of granulated sugar. To that, I am going to add my vegan eggs. I'm also going to add 2 teaspoons of almond extract. You know, I really love almond. Almond is great additional flavor, especially when you're pairing it with pears. So no pun intended, but it works. And 2/3 of a cup of canola oil. That's going in here now. So this makes our wet ingredients, and I'm just gonna quickly give them a stir and set them to the side while we get our dry ingredients ready to go. In here, I have our start of our dry ingredients. Basically, I have 3 cups of flour. Once again, I like to split that up. I'm using half whole wheat flour and half all-purpose flour for a total of 3 cups of flour. Just kind of sift that a little bit. Into that, we're adding 1 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. So that's going in here to give us those wonderful fall flavors. And I just want to mix all that around so that everything's blended together. Last but not least, I am going to take 1 cup of chopped pecans. I just break them down with my hand, as you can see. I'm gonna go ahead and add these to the wet ingredients, the pears, just give it a quick turn, and we're throwing all of that here into our dry ingredient. And then we're just gonna go ahead and mix this until it's all blended. I just love this cake. I've had it before, albeit not the vegan version, so I'm really curious to see how the vegan version comes out, but I'm sure it's gonna be fine, because literally, as I mentioned, the only difference is swapping out the egg whites for the vegan version of flax seeds and water. Now, this batter is kind of very sticky, and just want to make sure I get everything mixed well in here. As it continues to cook, we will still get more of that moisture from the apple. So the batter is very thick, almost like a cookie dough. And now we're gonna go ahead and get ready to fill our pan. I am using this really nice Nordic ware bunt pan, and it's really cool in terms of the spirals. A dear friend and colleague of mine, Elisa, gave this to me when I moved from Georgia to Los Angeles, and I get a lot of use out of it. It's become one of my favorite pans because it just makes everything look like so elegant and amazing. I can't wait to show you when this cake is done how awesome this pan is going to make it look. In my kitchenette, you see this looks all nice and filled in this pan. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the oven at 325 degrees, standard regular oven, 325 for about an hour. I'm gonna check it probably at 50 minutes and then start checking it every 10 minutes after that until it gets to the right consistency. Hello, my kitchenettes. The house smells wonderful. I can smell that cinnamon, the pears, the almond. I can have that sense in the air. Oh, what's that sound? That's my favorite sound. Let's go see what's going on in the oven. Oh, wow. This looks perfect. Wow, look at that. It looks wonderful. Can you see it? It rose nice and it's a little bit above. I'm sure as it cools, it'll settle down and sink down a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and let this cool for about 15 minutes in the pan, and then we'll flip it out and let it cool completely before we put some little glaze or powdered sugar or something like that on it. See you soon. All right, my kitchenettes, this has been cooling for about 15 minutes. The pan's still pretty hot, so I have to wear my little gloves here as we plan to flip this out, but it should come out easily now after about 15 minutes. So, you know, I always worry, as madam, I must have done this a million times, but I always worry what's gonna happen here. But here we go, 1, 2, 3. Try to tap it down a little bit. And let's see. Is it a little stuck? No. Wow, look how fabulous this looks. Oh my gosh. I love this pan. Elisa, thank you. It always makes whatever I make look exceptionally amazing because of the swirl and the indentation that this cake makes. So it looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit and cool for a good couple of hours, and then we'll put some sort of probably a little bit of a glaze on there, and we'll be able to serve it tonight. Hello, my kitchenettes. So here we are for the moment we've all been waiting for. It is time to cut into this cake. As you can see, I went ahead and put a confectioner's glaze, just a little bit of confectioner's sugar with a little bit of almond milk, and made the glaze and poured it over on top. I love the way this looks. It looks like, reminds me of little alpine ski trails when the spring is coming and all the snow's melting, but you still see some in the crevices. That's what I think of when I see this. Let's go ahead and cut into this cake. It just looks amazing. And I'm getting ready to cut a piece off here. Wow, look at that. So as you can see, there's nice chunks of pears and pecans in there. Let's go ahead and give this a taste. Oh my God, it is absolutely delicious. I love this cake. And one of the things that I want you folks that aren't vegan, that are following me when I make a vegan recipe, go ahead and try it. They're delicious, and I guarantee you, you're gonna find some of the vegan recipes that I make to be just absolutely amazing, that you're gonna wanna make them all the time, whether you're vegan or not. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make this pear cake for your friends, and for God's sakes, wash your hands. Ciao.